Anything can happen on a comic book canon, so let's start the show!
Boom! Anything could happen on a comic book canon, so let's start the show. Joe, can I tell you something? There's not much better than Sunday night.
Wait, I said no. You got to respect my wishes, but I've reconsidered, and now I will allow you to speak. Go ahead.
Thank you. There's not much better than the canon on a Sunday night. I think millions of people can agree. But you know what does make it better on a Sunday night? After a Philadelphia Eagles win 9 straight. I know it was a tough one, Joe. I know it shouldn't have been a tough one based on the competition, but
doesn't matter. Win's a win.
Wins or 11 wins. Am I right?
Yeah. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Definitely. Anyone that had doubts about Super Bowl contention should, at this point, shut up. I think the Lions look good, but I'm pretty sure the Eagles at least have a good shot at it.
I'm very excited. Next week's going to be a tough test against the Steelers. We won't get too much into it now because who knows how many of you are football fans, except for the neighborhood Merc. Go Birds for sure. But again, very, very excited about our Birds. Okay, I'm very excited about the show. We were off last week for Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday. For those of you that celebrate, we are back again with episode number 206, Joe. And you know what that means. Episode 206 brings in our featured issue, which is a 206. These are getting tougher and tougher to find, by the way. So this one's just going to be a random one, which is a sweet cover, which is Thor number 206. That's right. The featured episode issue of episode 206 is Thor number 206. Look at this beautiful John Buscema cover. It looks like he's going up against the Absorbing Man here. And the issue is Thor battling a powerful demon druid connected to ancient Celtic myths with striking art by John Buscema. The story blends mythological drama, action, and Thor's role as a protector of both.
Oh, no. He muted himself. Oh, no. Oh, look at this guy. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, I'll talk about this book now since Jeff has made some mistakes. I personally love that Bronze Age border. Jeff, put this book back up on the screen again. So
you got it.
There we go. He's back. This one particularly, that kind of blue, baby blue color. I love this border that Marvel and DC, but mostly Marvel, started doing during the Bronze Age, just kind of capturing the picture, on the cover art a little bit more concisely and allowing for a really big and bold trade dress. I think it looks really cool. Obviously the full art version of covers is really nice because it does contain a bigger picture, maybe some more detail, but I love these Bronze Age border, and they're so indicative of the time. Like you pull out a book, you don't even have to look at the price on the book or when it's from or anything. That is probably a book from the early 70s to the mid 70s.
Yeah, and again, it'd be interesting to find out the story behind these books, why they did this. I bet you there's some strategy because both the big two did it, and it probably brought the eyes, closer to the center, brought in, more drama, more like, hey, check this out. I guess those borders emphasize the action going on the page, maybe. Who knows, though? I'd love to see why they did that. We should bring on a historian of some sort, like maybe Bronzeville.
Yeah, I feel like he would know because he was buying comics at that time.
He was.
He is.
He was like
old.
20. He was 28 then in the 1964, right?
No.
But anyways, yeah. So that's a good call. Again, we'll bring this up one more time. Episode issue, featured episode issue is issue 206 of Thor. So yes, everybody, please hit like and subscribe if you have not already. Josh's Comics is telling you to do so, and if you don't, he won't bring the news, because right now we do have the Adam Schefter of Comic Book Canon, the news editor. Josh's Comics coming in hot. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. How are you doing tonight?
We're doing great. It's really nice to see you. I do have an announcement to make
Thank you.
that Pope at Chili Town is on the PA Turnpike. So please drive safe. We love you.
Oh,
That's true.
and very important thing about Pope Chili Town. If you missed out on his sale this week, it wasn't a normal comic book claim sale. He has a friend out in Western Pennsylvania who is a huge art collector and has been for decades. And he had some really cool pieces that he was selling. Mike was assisting with the claim sale from his Instagram. And both Mike and I bought stuff. Mike a lot more than I did. So there are going to be some really cool pieces that we'll be showing off this week.
By the way, Nuke says it was abnormal. By the way, there was like a Kirby sketch, right? That was like for $25, which was crazy. It was Silver Surfer, or was that a joke?
What?
There was a Silver Surfer sketch of Kirby's Silver Surfer. It was a sketch. No. I'm telling you. Anyways, all right, moving on. It was
maybe $25,000.
Okay, that probably makes sense. I read it like $25. I'm like, what? So Joshua, we got some news. We got some.
Yes, we do.
I did miss a few zeros. Like I was like, I'm glad I clarified that though, because it did seem out of the ordinary. Joshua, how are we doing with the news? What do we got going on? Summarize this because we got 14 million people watching. Millions more will be coming in as you talk because they always do. If you could summarize this news week, how would you summarize it quickly before you get into the nitty gritty?
Marvel, DC. That's all you need to know.
Okay, cool.
Good.
By the way, Pope did say he commissioned it for $25 back in the day. All right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. But concentrate on driving, Mike, please. All right, let's get into it, Joshua. We're going to feature you here. Look at that. Boom. Look at that handsome man. Actually, it doesn't matter if we feature you or not. It's the same size.
That's good,
yeah, shave. Anyways. Time out. Jeff, Joe, and Josh, you guys are invited to my wedding.
Woo!
Tell us when it is and where. We're definitely going to get a community like gift going for you. No doubt about that. All right. Let's get into the news, Joshua. That's what people are here for. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, so let's get into some MCU news. The more and more closer we get to the show, the more excited I'm getting. I think we got like 3 or 4 months out until it happens, but we got some news on Daredevil Born Again. And so it's going to pick up about 5 years after the event of the Netflix series. And I'm excited for this. It's going to be interesting to see how the timeline ends up and if maybe some of the characters, got snapped in the blimp at all or what happened. So I'm excited. Daredevil, the Netflix show is literally like the best thing that they have put on television and maybe one of the best things that the MCU has ever done. Kind of like how DC just did the Penguins. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. And it leaves that nice gap where that's 5 years of stories that we kind of could tell. So we'll see what happens.
That's a very good point. Joe, I know the love you have for this series, so I'm going to let you go next. Not to say I don't, but I know you.
Yeah. Kind of what Josh says, except for I will say that the Daredevil show is not one of the best. It is the best thing Marvel has ever done. It beats out, in my opinion, the Sony Spider-Man movies, the Fox X-Men movies, as well as the entirety of the MCU, both shows and everything. The best Marvel project ever. That being said, a lot of this year is going to hinge on a couple things. The Daredevil show, which the vast majority of the community is very excited for, and the Fantastic Four movie, which is coming out shortly thereafter. I mean, those two are going to kind of make the first like 2/3 of the year. That's kind of going to be the deciding factor there.
You're forgetting Captain Marvel there, buddy. Or Captain America.
Well, I know there's Thunderbolts. There's a lot of things coming out, but I think a lot is going to hinge on specifically Daredevil and Fantastic Four, just because so many people are excited for Daredevil was universally loved. And I think that it's been a couple years. We've been waiting. We want to see all these characters return, and we're finally going to get that in full effect. We've got some, little teases here and there. We've seen Matt Murdock on the screen a couple times, even as Daredevil, but we haven't gotten, the meat of it.
No, we definitely haven't. Again, it's interesting what Netflix brought to us in terms of that universe right there, which I'm so confused if it's canon or not at this point. But it's very exciting to bring this beloved cast back again. Not only just Charlie Cox, but you got D'Onofrio, you got Foggy Nelson, you got what's her face,
Karen Page.
Karen Page. Like it's and also Bullseye, Bethel Page or Wilson Page. He's coming back. What's his name? I put it right on here. Wilson Bethel is coming back too as Bullseye. So hopefully we'll see a true representation of Bullseye. That third season was awesome. All 3 seasons were awesome. I'm not going to say it was the best thing Marvel has ever done on TV. I'm not sure if I agree with
we got
that.
Punisher coming back as well. He's confirmed
Punisher.
in the trailer.
How dare I forget? Yes, that's a very good
and
point.
There's a few other surprises. There's some characters returning. And there's a few other characters that I think are going to be making their MCU debut as well in the show.
Well, we do
So I'm
know
going to leave that up there, yeah.
the White Tiger, right? We do know the White Tiger is coming, but I'd love to see
Luke
Cage
my
back.
thunder.
I would love to see. Well, that's been reported. I would love to see Luke Cage back. By the way, absolutely love to see Luke Cage back. So, leave it alone, Josh. Leave it alone. Save it for your spoiler.
Let's move it along. What's going to keep going with the MCU train here. Now, this is an interesting article because this person is already confirmed in the MCU as a certain character. So we're going to see what's going to happen with live action. But Coleman Domingo says he's met with Marvel about a potential role in the MCU, but he will be voicing Norman Osborn in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is an animated show which is going to be set like a few years before Peter Parker met Tony Stark in the MCU. So, will he potentially carry over to Norman Osborn in live action, or is he going to be potentially Kang? A new cast for Kang, or is he going to be an all new original character? We'll have to see. He's a great talent. I love him. I kind of like, if he wants to be Norman Osborn live action, I'm completely okay with that. But I just, I think this is very interesting.
Well, just to clarify some things, it's still ambiguous if this animated series is part of the cinematic universe. We don't know that for sure.
I thought it was confirmed.
No, it hasn't been confirmed. So, however, I like your idea of him coming in as Norman Osborn, turning into the Green Goblin, having a Harry Osborn. I'm all for it, That's kind of the next level we want to see. You were talking about this, Josh, or maybe it was you, Joe, how Peter Parker in the MCU, Spider-Man in the MCU has become this kind of cosmic player. You know what? He's battling all of these cosmic people. And we want to get back down to the roots of who Spider-Man is, by the way. And hopefully the next arc, the next trilogy will kind of convey that. Peter Parker juggling college, juggling his social life, juggling his responsibilities as Spider-Man. That's the Spider-Man we all know and love, and hopefully we get to see. And that would include like the Green Goblin, and maybe Coleman Domingo would play that Harry Osborn part.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I do kind of hope that they make Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man canon, just because it expands on what we've seen, and it'll kind of be a nice segue to get us from the last Spider-Man movie came out in 2021. Like, it's been 3 years already. It was December 2021. Yeah, December 2021. So it's been 3 years already. We're clearly not getting a movie next year. Probably not going to get one the year after that. Maybe at the earliest 2026, probably more like 2027. That being said, we need something to span us. We need something to get us there, and hopefully some development of the character a little bit.
For those of there's a couple of people who have said it. The series will not be canon, the animated series. So if you could find some source, I don't have time to find a source, but I do remember seeing that as well.
I mean, Charlie Cox has been confirmed to be Daredevil on the show, so
that's a good. I mean, yeah, there's those connections. Who knows? So we should clarify this and figure this all out. Mike, I mean, you are a multitasker. You're like, honestly, driving, texting us, and you're hilarious. So, like, how do you do it? Stop at a comedy club. Seriously, doing us all a favor. All right, Joshua, we got to move on to the next one, which is not MCU.
Yeah, let's get into some DCU news. Man, it's been a great couple of weeks for news related to DCU, and we'll talk about the big debut later. But James Gunn has went on to say that DC Studios is aiming to give a platform to the lesser known characters like the Huntress. We also saw that with Blue Beetle a little bit, and Blue Beetle will be coming back with his own show. And listen, I'm all up for this. I think the MCU kind of has been doing a good job the last few years of bringing lesser known characters in. So, and I think DC as well, like, don't get us wrong, we know Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, those are the big three. But I would love to see additional members of the Bat family like Huntress or lesser known characters, like even Nightwing. Like, let's get everybody in there. Let's give some of the lesser known characters love and appreciation. The DC universe is so rich with great characters that if they find the right story and the right filmmaker, they can make some great films and shows. So I'm excited to hear that James is thinking, not just using the big known characters, but he wants to use lesser known characters and bring them forward in the spotlight. I'm totally for that.
James Gunn has done this before and been very successful at it with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I have all the faith in James Gunn doing something like this. I'm all for it as well. I mean, Nightwing, I guess mainstream is lesser known. Yeah, I would love to see Nightwing. So I am all about this. I'm very excited to hear about this. He is just starting. We'll get into that in a minute or two, but I'm very excited. Joe, your thoughts before I want to bring something up to Joshua.
Yeah, you mentioned. I mean, there's so much. There's so much. And there's DC even more so than Marvel. We always talk about how the Marvel's going into these lesser known characters with the Marvel Spotlight and stuff like that. I think that's what it's called. But DC has even more than Marvel does, because DC has 20 years on Marvel. For the most part. I mean, there are some hero stuff from the Golden Age with Marvel, but DC had a fleshed out Golden Age, whereas Marvel, there's only here and there characters. That being said, there's a lot of cool DC characters that I probably don't even know about, or maybe I've heard the name, and being more of a Marvel guy, I'm excited to learn more about DC and the DC side of things.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, there's nobody better to do it than James Gunn. He's done it before. I know he can do it again. What I like to ask, we're going to get into Creature Commandos in a hot second here, but this surprised me right here, everybody. This image here of James Gunn, yes, that's the cartoon version of James Gunn. This is no spoiler here, but this is part of the opening sequence for Creature Commandos. And I had mixed feelings about this. I didn't think this was needed at all, to be honest with you. Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because is it like James is trying to say that his universe, the DCU, is set on Earth One, the real Earth. You know what I mean? Like, so where you have like different Earths with Marvel. But I kind of feel like it wasn't needed. But I kind of feel like it was just like it was something that he wanted to do, maybe for comical effect, or he just wanted to throw us off. I was okay with it. It didn't really take me out of it, but it was a surprise for sure to see him in there. I wasn't expecting to see him. Maybe he did like a prodigy character of himself with a different actor or something, but I wasn't expecting to see him exactly in the show.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. I just, I saw that I had to pull that image for that specific slide. So, all right, but moving on to more James Gunn. What do we got? This one's going to be entertaining for a lot of y'all.
So look, first thing Gunn did when he came back and he wanted to, make the DCU, and it was a smart move. He called Ryan Reynolds up, and he's like, "Hey, man, you want to come back and play Green Lantern?" And pretty much Ryan told him to go F himself. So we know how Ryan Reynolds feels about Green Lantern. He obviously thinks it's probably the worst movie of his career. Probably hates it, regrets a lot of it. He even shot himself in the head for reading the script back in what was it, Deadpool 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so, but I thought this was great. All things aside, maybe you have Ryan one day. I mean, he gets done Deadpool show up as another character in DCU. But I think that's great that Gunn seems to be a guy that he can reach out to people and have a good time. And I'm glad he let us know about this. It may not be that much breaking news, but I thought it was a fun thing to add. And, interesting to see him reaching out to people and at least having a good time with it.
He's got the pull, and I'm sure it wasn't an FU. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds was jokingly be like, "That's
yeah.
You know what I mean?" I'm sure he turned it down real quick, but he's got a good thing going on with Deadpool. If he wants to continue, we still don't know if that's a for sure thing. Why I don't know why he would want to jump back into that again. That's just
it's interesting though. What if they had a conversation about him joining the DCU?
I mean, as another character, I think that'd be fine. But for him to be, do you know what kind of like ruckus that would cause in terms of the press? Like, oh, he just signed on to be a Green Lantern for this film. And then he's involved in it. And then he has to do the press junket. Everybody bringing up that movie yet again, from pre-production to production to post-production to the circuit of doing that for like a month or two. He'd have to talk about that movie that was just kind of not the best movie in his career. I don't think he would do it. He doesn't need to do it either. He doesn't need to do it. And it wasn't a love like Deadpool was a love for him.
I was going to say, like, if you two could cast him as any role or anything that you could think about in the DCU, besides Green Lantern, who would you want to see Ryan play as?
Well, here, Danny's saying that he wants to see him play Doctor Strange. That's an interesting one, Danny. Yeah.
Doctor Strange?
It's in the comments. I'm making a joke. Come on, guys. You're supposed to go along with me with that joke. It would be strange. It would be strange.
That was great. That was cute. How about this? Because you know how like Wade Wilson was kind of a playoff of Slade Wilson, who is Deathstroke. Imagine if he came back to play Deathstroke. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know.
Or what's the character in Marvel that's the character in Marvel that's basically the ripoff of not Dr. Polaris. The character that's a ripoff of Green Lantern.
In Marvel?
Green Arrow.
Oh, Nova.
No.
Green Arrow?
The Squadron Supreme character.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about. It's not. I keep wanting to say Dr. Polaris. It's not Dr. Polaris. It's something
no idea
like
what
that.
You're talking about.
There's like Hyperion is Superman. Night. What is it? Nighthawk is Batman. Who is that character? Oh my god.
I got one. How about Plastic Man?
Plastic Man. That'd be.
I would see that. Yeah,
I could see him doing Plastic Man. That's a good one right there. That's definitely a good one.
I like it.
All right. But we're going to move on to something you really want to talk about, Joshua, and something that Joe and I cannot specifically talk. We cannot talk as much as you, and you'll say why. Yeah. What do we got?
Dr. Spectrum. Okay. Dr. Spectrum is the name of the character.
Dr. Spectrum.
I think.
I have no idea who that is. I'd have to look into it, but.
Well, moving on. Here we go. Let's go, Josh.
Moving on. Let's go. So, first of all, before we even talk about this, no spoilers. So, Kuchu Commandos, 2 episodes finally released on Thursday, the first 2 episodes. It's currently at a 94% critical rate approval on Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody is loving this, and what I understand, I'm hearing very positive things in the whole community from almost everybody. And I'm going to say this. I watched the first 2 episodes. And I was, I'm not this team, I was never a big fan of. I didn't even know about them until 2 years ago when it got announced that they were doing a show on them. So I finally read some comics, and I got to tell you, this show is great. It is not for children. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's got language, gore, it's got nudity in it. It's a pretty mature show, but I'm loving it. And I'm going to say this, guys. It dropped so many hints, so many clues of things of where the DCU is. Next week, I'm hoping maybe I get approval from my editor-in-chief There's a cameo in there from another DC property that confirms that he is in the DCU world.
Wow.
So I want to talk about that next week. But yeah, I think Gunn is off to a tremendous start here in the DCU. And if this is the kind of work we're going to get, I'm excited for Superman, hearing great things. And so far, off of the 2 episodes, I mean, this thing's easy an 8 out of 10 for me, maybe even 9 so far.
Wow.
It's
That's praise.
really
High
good.
praise. This guy, by the way, is the editor in chief. His name is Joe. So he is Joshua's boss. I gotta admit, it's not because it wasn't bad, but I watched the first episode. I got back late last night. I saw Gladiator, by the way, really good movie. And I just could not. It was good. It was good, Josh. It was good. I had 3 minutes left in the episode. I just couldn't hang in there. I was out. So I got to go back, finish episode 1, watch episode 2. But what you just told me, I'm very excited to hear. Did it surprise you to see this character in there?
The character I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you guys know after the show. But yeah, and it's cool because James Gunn has ties to this character. So it makes sense, but it's even cooler because it's making me think like, okay, if we can get this character in live action movie, dude, I'm gonna flip out. So I'll tell you guys after the show if you want to know, but it's good, it's rich. And then like the other Easter eggs that he dropped, um, it's good world building. I mean, he built the world up so good. But yeah,
And just
you
2
guys
episodes. That's
need
good to
to go
hear.
watch it after this show tonight. Go
Very
watch
good
it.
to hear. Okay, I'm going to try and watch both of those episodes or finish them first and watch the second. So that is very exciting to hear, Joe. I don't know if you have thoughts, real quick.
Well, I haven't watched the show yet. I was gonna do it today. If you can't hear my voice, I'm a little under the weather. Kind of been sick this weekend, so ended up just kind of relaxing, catching up on some other things. Really want to focus on watching the show, especially because it's the first step, the introduction to this new universe. So I'm gonna probably get to that sometime this week and catch up.
Okay, very excited. So, Josh, we'll report back to you once we do watch it. As you know, we are, running a gigantic conglomerate here in Comic Book Canon. We have a lot of other responsibilities, not just the news. You know what I mean? But you have responsibilities other than the news, and that's to address rumors, the things you're hearing on the street. And right now, that leads us into this wonderful segment called. Joe, you ready?
Yeah.
Josh's Rumor Report.
Josh with the rumors. Josh with the rumors. Josh with the rumors.
Josh's Rumors Report.
Report.
That was good, man. That was really good. So, Josh, you have 3. If this was like eating apple pie, which I did eat for Thanksgiving, you'd have 3 slices left here. You have 3 slices of apple pie. Give us those.
Yeah,
slices.
but
Did you put ice cream on top of yours?
well, first of all, I like pumpkin pie.
No,
My.
we're just talking about apple pie, the greatest pie ever invented.
Yeah, pumpkin pie, greatest pie ever invented. I agree with you.
Do you put ice cream on your pumpkin pie?
I do not. Only whipped cream.
Do you put cheddar cheese on your pumpkin pie?
No, but that sounds
Correct
interesting.
answer. Correct answer. All right, let's move on. What do you got?
All right, so Warner Brothers is supposedly or reportedly maybe developing an animated movie trilogy based on Batman Nightfall, which, in case if you don't know, that's pretty much when Bane shows up and breaks Batman's back. Um, I'll be honest, I'm really surprised to think about all the animated Batman films that we've had and knowing that we haven't seen this yet. So we did get a little bit of it in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises, obviously, but hey, I'm up for it. The animated films are always a fun, entertaining watch, and they could probably tell a good, faithful story adaptation of it too. So if it happens, hey, more great Batman content for me.
And everybody else. I mean, it's not just about you, as you know. Joe, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is I grew up in the 90s and the Bane era and the Nightfall era. That happened before I was, into comics, but like it was still around. Like a lot of dollar bins had, Nightfall books and stuff like that in it. So yeah, this is cool. This is really something that can really hit some nostalgia for a lot of people. I know James Minhunter Comics, he is a huge Nightfall, Night Quest, Nice End guy. In fact, he has 9.8 of the entire Nightfall run.
Oh, wow.
Literally the whole thing. It's like, I don't even know. How many books is it? 20, 19, something like that?
Well,
And
yeah,
then
it was a
Well,
tie.
not the whole thing, actually.
what?
He just uploaded a new video. There's 3 different parts to the, yeah.
Right. Well, he has the whole Nightfall one. And then
Oh, okay.
the video, I saw that video that he posted recently. He was thinking about going and getting all of Nightfall, Night Quest and Night's End as well. All 9/8.
Okay. I thought they were all one whole thing put together, but
Yes.
right. I think it's a bit weird. All right, we're moving on to the next one.
No. Actually, I got some things to say. I got 2 things to
Go
say.
ahead.
You know, obviously, you can't have Nightfall without Azrael. I'd love to see that character in some kind of TV or big screen. But you know, we all know how successful DC has been with their animated releases. Like they crush it way better than Marvel before Marvel Studios was doing this. My question would be, if they were, this wouldn't be part of the DCU proper. Then they would continue on doing these separate stories, right?
I'll have an answer to that on next week's show on the news segment.
Oh wow, I love that. That's service right there. All right, let's move on to the next story then.
All right, so this one is actually a follow up to a rumor that I had 2 weeks ago. Now, I told you we are going to get a couple of groups supposedly in Doomsday. So here's some groups that might potentially be showing up. Obviously, the first group is going to be the main Avengers, Captain America, Spider Man, yada yada. But we also might see maybe potentially Dark or New Avengers soon. Maybe we'll see the Young Avengers. We'll probably end up seeing the Fantastic Four as well. But what if we happen to see a West Coast Avengers team form up to fight
Hell yeah.
Doomsday?
Hell
Could it
yeah.
happen? Potentially, maybe. We'll see. There's a lot of players in the MCU, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different teams. So let's see what you guys say.
Joe.
Yeah, I mentioned this a couple of times in like predicting over the last couple of years. You know, we still have Clint Barton who's hanging around in the MCU post Infinity War and Endgame. We in fact have seen him on the screen since then in the Hawkeye series. He is one of the big players in West Coast Avengers, the leader of the team, yada yada. So I think that even if they don't use the name West Coast Avengers, I think there's a good chance that we will continue to see an Avengers team with Hawkeye either as the leader or potentially as a mentor to the younger Avengers, it being a young Avengers team or a new Avengers team or a champions, whatever they decide to call it.
Yeah.
I do think that Clint will play a larger role in whatever the future team project is.
By the way, Kaiser Jose. I hope that's how you pronounce it. So, just like in the movie, Bryan Singer's movie. Come on, Kaiser Sose.
Yeah,
Kaiser. Anyways, y'all. I'm sure most of y'all get it. By the way, yes. So, given that Hawkeye was the leader of the first West Coast Avengers, you had Iron Man, which is obviously not going to be a possibility. You're going to have Wonder Man. There's no Tigra. There's no Mockingbird. Well, Mockingbird was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., technically. I would love it, but I would love a West Coast Avengers. That brought me into comic books, really, that and X Factor. So, usual suspects, and I was right. Thank you, Kaiser Jose. And thank you for dropping by, too. So, I would love to see a West Coast Avengers, but going back to the bigger picture here, which is Doomsday, all of those teams being involved in a gigantic, epic movie like this, amazing. What's the topic? Well, you're just catching us on the tail end of the news. And every time we do the news, Joshua has his rumor report. And this rumor report here is about, where is it? Hold on, Kaiser Jose. Hold on, right here. Is it? Nope, that's not it. That's the next story. Nope, that was the last story. It is about Doomsday, the protagonists of Doomsday, the people who are going up against Doom and his nefarious plot to take over the universe, we suspect. So that's what we're talking about, Josh. Dish it out real quick.
So the rumor is right now that we might see, obviously, we get a OG Avengers team, but a dark new Avengers, young Avengers, Fantastic Four, or West Coast Avengers team up. Honestly, too, I think in the next 6 months or so, we'll know because filming is starting midsummer next year on this film.
Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, Kaiser Jose, that's brought you up to speed on this topic right here. Please like and subscribe because we love your name and we want to see you again. And our final rumor, as we said, apple pie. We're using the analogy of apple pie. The slice. Your final slice of rumor. What is it?
So this is a really cool one, which I think makes sense. So Blade might be retooled into a multiverse film featuring mm, uh, Malaysia,
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali, and Wesley Snipes. OG Blade. Now, I kind of would like to see Blade or Wesley Snipes return as Blade again. We got him in Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think at this point, Blade has been, the movie itself has been put on the back burner. It seems like they just cannot seem to get a story around this, and then they can't seem to get a director on board who wants to tell that story.
Disaster!
And you know what? Why not we do this? Let's do it. Let's get both of them in there. Let's get a good send off to Wesley Snipes' Blade, and then passing the torch down. It'd be interesting.
I'm actually the opposite, Josh. I'm against this idea. We already got our nostalgia trip. We got Blade, Wesley Snipes showing up, not even just as a cameo, as a character that had a significant amount of screen time in Deadpool vs. Wolverine. We already had that. We don't need that again. Wesley Snipes might need the money, but we don't need that again. We got it already. Okay. So in my opinion, if they want to do Blade, they should cut the ties. Wesley Snipes did great. We loved the first two movies. We're not going to talk about Blade Trinity, but he was awesome in his cameo appearance coming back. Definitely a lot of nostalgia for people who grew up on those movies in the late 90s and early 2000s. But let's move on. Whether it's Mahershala Ali or someone else, let's move on and do a new Blade in the MCU.
Hey, Joe, you and I both right here, absolutely aligned. I'm going to take it further, guys. I want to see them start winding down this What's that?
Hold on. We should kiss. Did it work?
Wow.
No, not yet. No,
you're too high. No, Jeff, go up a little bit. No, okay.
I got
too much tongue left.
Anyways, here's the deal. I wanted to see them start winding down the multiverse stuff. Like, honestly, let's stop. Let's just get back.
Oh, it's coming.
I know it's coming, but it's not coming fast enough. And like bringing this whole thing in with like, you're going to start Blade with the old Blade, bring in the new Blade that's going to be part of the MCU proper, and let's just move on with it. Let's figure this out. You got a great talent, and Mahershala Ali, you got, directors, it's a revolving door. Producers, it's a revolving door. And writers, it's a revolving door. What is the deal? Let's get it done. So that's all I have to say about that. Josh, do you want to wrap this up in a nice tidy bun here, or ribbon, for your news report? Because we have things to move on.
Yes. Tune in next week to find out about a follow-up to, possibly if James Gunn's going to commit to wanting to add in things to the DCU. We'll talk about that next week. And, hey, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it, as always. And that's it for me right now, gentlemen.
Thank you, Josh.
By the way, this Kaiser is reading Hickman's Secret Wars for the first time.
Ooh.
Hopefully you read the other Secret Wars, the original. But here's the deal with us. We're Comic Book Canon. We're obviously the most popular live show on YouTube with 22 million people currently watching right now. We're glad you are a part of it. We talk about comic books and everything related to it. We also show off fresh gets within the community, people getting it. Our fresh gets. We talk about comics. We love comics. So welcome. All right. So here's the deal. Joshua, you did a fantastic job. You'll be coming back later for Fresh from the Comic Shop. Dan, the judge, is not here today. He is on assignment. You may have seen that in the comments. So, Joshua, we'll see you in a bit. Peace. All right, Joe, we got something to talk about here because somebody's failed us in the community. They have failed us. Everybody here who loves the popcorn, say it in the comments. You love the popcorn. We're kind of stuck right now because right now we don't have anybody for the popcorn because the person who was supposed to do the popcorn didn't do the popcorn. So, Joe, we're going to have to pick somebody at random who has not done a popcorn just yet to get the popcorn back. I just wanted to make that clear. Are we clear?
How about this? Yeah. When this video is done, not while we're in the chat right now, when this video is over, comment that you want to do the popcorn and we'll pick someone from that.
We'll give you the movie butter too. No doubt about that. For sure. You have to comment you have to leave a comment in the comment section, not the live section here. Your vote is for Comic Mania Amanda. Here's the deal, Spuds. You already nominated somebody. I don't know if you could do it again. Tell this person to leave a comment when we're done with the show. All right, this is the time we say hello to the community. But before we do that, we want to remind you to get your questions in for a segment we do called Ask Joe. We have a better theme song than that. But yes, get your questions in there for the comments. We do have one question. It's not specifically for Joe. We may have to bring Josh back for that. I do like this question. I think it was from Kate. So yeah, we're going to get to that in a hot second. But as we say hello, put your questions in the chat. That's right. We got 8+ Comics asking for the movie butter. We got Spuds Comics in the house. Christina Payne, hello. Kaiser Jose, so glad you joined us. Excuse me, I just burped. Caleb Leland, aka Cable Leland, in the house. Pope of Chilitown. Why is he saying? Well, I don't know why I'm singled out here, but why everywhere Scissors Hands should play Blade? That's cute. I get it. That's hilarious. Again with the comedy. D&T Comics in the house. We got Bond.
I'm ready.
Paul Bond. That would have been really cool if you just did it yourself. But you didn't. We got Immortal Scruffy in the house. We got Nukes Comics. We've got Dan De La Torre, who is on assignment, as we mentioned. Dan De La Torre is on assignment. The judge. Who else do we have? Who else? I think we said hello to everybody. Is that everybody? I don't know. It keeps growing. Kate is in the house. Kate's Comics. Did not give her a shout out. And Josh's is here as well. Nori Jordan in the house. I knew there was somebody. Did not want to forget you fine people. 23 million people. Craig, 69 is not here, everybody. You are not here. Remember to She-Hulk, smash the thumbs up. Yes, Christina Payne, absolutely would love for people to do that. All right. Do we have an Ask Joe? Oh, we do. Excuse me. We got a few. All right, here we go. So get your questions in now. We're going to start this segment that we do, and it's called Ask Joe and Jeff. That's right. You asked the questions to Joe, and maybe Jeff will answer too. So here we go. Getting on these questions right now. Now, again, this isn't specifically an Ask Joe, but Kate, you asked a really good question. I know there are rumors that the Moana show was turned into a movie because Disney Plus isn't raking in the money. Any thoughts on how this could impact Marvel if true? I want to bring Josh in here to address this as well. So Josh, here we go. But I do want to say that I do believe for 2 quarters in a row, Disney Plus raked in a profit. Joe or Josh, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So my thought on this is they're going to try to kind of retool things. We already know this. We've already heard Kevin Feige say, we've been giving you too much content. We're going down to 3 movies a year. We're going down to, less television shows per year. So they're already cutting back a little bit. Does this spell like the end of the Marvel universe on Disney Plus? No, absolutely not. I think they're going to try, a couple other things. And if things continue to not be good on Disney Plus, they may end up scrapping Disney Plus. You never know what they're going to do. They might end up merging it with another provider. We've seen that happen with some of the small streaming services. them merging or even offering bundle deals. Like currently, I'm pretty sure you can get Hulu and Disney Plus like merged
And
together.
ESPN, yeah,
And ESPN. There you go. So we are still in the infancy of streaming services. Netflix has been around for more than 10 years at this point, but realistically, that's what I'm saying. More, I don't know exactly how many years, but the point is we're still in the infancy of this. We don't know how this is going to work out as far as the future of streaming services. They're going to keep trying things out. I have no doubt that they're going to keep putting out Marvel content.
Joshua.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, again, there were only rumors that it was originally going to be a show when they made it into a movie. Um, I don't think you have to worry about that. I mean, they did say that we're gonna from now going forward after next year, so starting in 2027, we'll get 2 Marvel films and 3 shows a year. I think it's just honestly that Disney, if you go back to last maybe 4 or 5 years, they overproduced so much content, and but they watered it down because they didn't give us. They gave us quality, quality over quality. I said that right. You know what I mean? Like they rushed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they rushed everything out. They didn't, like doing the live action movies of the animated things that I love, like The Lion King. I think it's just kind of a bit of a cash grab. They're trying to bring some people back and get money off that, but I don't think it's anything that the Marvel universe has to worry about. I think Marvel's going to be set for a long time, especially knowing that, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. The X-Men are going to be coming into play eventually in the next couple of years. I would not worry at all about the Marvel side for Disney.
I agree with that. And I agree with you, Joe, that it's still in the infancy here. There is a lot going on right now. And we have to remember things haven't really stabilized since COVID and the writer's strike. So those are two big things that happened within the industry the past couple of years. And for things to kind of level out, I think we're still seeing them try to figure out what is the perfect mark, right? And I don't know if they're even going to stick to, it's only going to be going forward 2 movies and 3 shows every year. They're going to see how this plays out too. They did. I think at this point in time, less is more. I really do. And I think what they're doing is they're scaling back to concentrate on the quality of it and the production of it to ensure that what they put out is going to be a hit. Pixar does this. They have a way of doing this, and they have so many more hits than misses. Granted, Marvel does too, but they started getting experimenting with things, and I think they kind of lost their ways a little bit. So I wouldn't worry about any of that going away. I wouldn't worry about any of their investments into the Marvel universe, that being Disney. And I would expect, to them to be delivering and for us to be excited about things again. I truly do believe that. So that's a great question there, Kate. I do have a quick hot take I want to address real quick from A Plus Comics, I think. Is that who? I saw something here.
Did you have the Batman comment?
Yeah. Where is that?
Right there.
Hot take. I felt the Batman was a glorified CW show. That is going to hurt some feelings in this. I
hurt my feelings.
Room for sure. No way in hell, in my opinion, was it a CW show, but it was not the best Batman movie. Joe will disagree, and maybe Josh.
I think it's the best Batman movie. That's just me. That's just me.
I think it's one of the top 3 best Batman movies.
It was good. It was very good, especially now that you put the Penguin in that kind of world. It's amazing. All right, moving on. We got more questions here. Kaiser Jose, I have a question. Is From the Ashes worse than Krakoa? I have not read any of those X-Men eras, to be honest. I have been interested in reading Krakoa. I started reading a little bit of the new X-Men they put out. I'm not too into it, but it's interesting what they did with Krakoa. I guess that's Hickman. And From the Ashes. I don't know anything about it. I know a little bit about it, but I haven't read those. And I'm assuming the 2 of you guys didn't either.
Yeah, as embarrassing as this is, as like a huge X-Men fan, like I have not read X-Men in a very long time. I'm talking like 10 years. So I have not read any of for those who don't know, the Krakoa era of X-Men just ended earlier this year. And they went into From the Ashes, which is the current run of X-Men. I have not read either of them. I have heard some really great things. I've also heard some really not great things about both of them. Um, I think I want to say from what I've heard from people, Krakoa is better than From the Ashes, but that could just be the personal opinions of the few people that I've spoken with about those eras of X-Men. Will I eventually read them? Hopefully. I hope I can get back to reading more. That's one of my goals for 2025 is to get back into reading more comics, because I've just spent so much time doing other things in comics, more of the collecting, more of the buying and selling. I want to get more back into reading.
Yeah, it's tough. I have just subscribed to the DC Infinite or whatever that is, and I have had Marvel, whatever it is called. So I have been reading a lot more lately. I haven't gotten to that though. But I'll tell you what, Hickman is a bit too cerebral for me at times. Like what he did with the Avengers is like, I don't understand any of this. So that's probably what led me away from reading that. I do enjoy Ultimate Spider-Man. So just putting that out there. All right, Joe, this is a great question from an A+ Comics right here. Asking Joe, would you rather have one $200 book or 200 $1 books? And you had two perspectives as a collector and as a seller. So
well, I'm going to throw the selling part out of this. I'm going to talk about this as a collector reader. Now, if you had asked me this when I was 5 years old, or even if you had asked me this when I was kind of getting back into collecting comics, like during college, I guess it was, I would have said the 200 $1 books. More to read, more to look at, more to explore, so on and so forth. As of right now, where I already have a fleshed out collection, I would get the $200, assuming that would be a key issue or, a harder to find book. I would get the $200 book because I already have stuff. So if I didn't have, thousands of comics already, it would be the quantity. If it would, if it's right now, I'm going to go with the key issue. That's mostly what I'm buying now for my personal collection, which you're going to see. I think I don't know if I mentioned this on the stream at all, but I mentioned a couple times. I picked up my biggest book of the year this year. Just this past week. So it is sitting right there. That's going to be shown off at the end of the show. That's mostly what I'm focused on now. The bigger books.
Okay, Joe, let's emphasize this. Bring you full screen. Say it for Fresh from the Comic Shop. Oh,
yeah. So during Fresh from the Comic Shop, I'm going to be showing off my biggest pickup of 2024. That's what year it is.
I just wanted to emphasize
it pretty much every December, like clockwork, I sink a big purchase or a trade or something into something big for my personal collection. Last year was a 9.8 Crow #1 first print. The year before that, it was a 9.0 first Punisher.
Damn, Crow was a year ago? Goodness.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was 2 or 3 years ago. But it was something. Oh, no. You know what it was 3 years ago? I got a collection towards the end of the year that had a Hulk 181. So I counted that in 2021. So yeah, I'm going to show off a big book today.
I'm excited to see this big book because you have not let me in as to what this is. So I've been in the dark. All right. From Kate, ask Joe if there was one book or doc on comics that we should all read / see, what would it be? That's a good one because I feel like I've seen docs. I mean, I'll toot my own horn. The short doc I did on Stan Lee deciding to push out the story of this one right here and go without the comics code. As you can see, it's signed by him too because I asked him to do that for the series. But yeah, it was up for a Webby Award. No big deal. Lost to Zach Galifianakis, but that's the one I'd tell you to see because I can't think of another one.
Oh, screw
I choose Batman and Bill, the story of Bill Finger, the real creator of Batman.
Oh, snap.
I got that all day. I'll do once a month. I don't care. I'll let everybody know about that. You got to watch that.
That's a good call. Joe, did you have one?
This is a tough one. So I haven't seen Selling Superman yet. But I have a feeling that is going to really be a very interesting video, a very interesting documentary for comic book lovers, comic book collectors, and so on and so forth. I think that my favorite one that I've seen, like as far as documentary, would be the one about, I don't remember what it's called, but it's about the founding of Image Comics. And it's about the 7 artists that were working at Marvel at the time, young artists. They were like the hottest in the game. They broke off, they started their own thing, and that company to this day now is outselling DC and closing in on Marvel and putting out some of the best comic book content
It's
is.
pretty incredible what they have done, those creators, especially how big they were, and that was unheard of, just to walk away and start your own thing. Like, wow. But there's also a documentary on Stan Lee on Disney Plus too that I've put in the queue. I haven't watched that yet either. So there's a lot out there, Kate. A lot for you to check out. We are going to move on to what looks to be the last question, I do believe, unless anybody has any more. And this one is a good one. Ask Joe and Jeff, who would you like to see play Batman in James Gunn universe?
Robert Pattinson. I know.
Not for me.
I really liked Robert Pattinson in the Batman. I think the Batman's a great movie. I'd like to see that. I think we do want someone older though, because we have this Damian Wayne character that we know we're getting already. They've already name dropped Damian, and assuming that he's, you know, a preteen or young teen in the universe. You know, not that Pattinson couldn't be. I guess he's like 40 at this point, but I do think we'd want a slightly older Batman. This is a tough one for me, so I'm going to defer to Jeff, I think, for a second.
I mean, obviously it's Ryan Reynolds. It's not Ryan Reynolds. It's the guy, and I can't remember his name, but he would be so badass. The dude from Reacher. Josh, you know his name, I think, or Joe.
Oh, Alan Richardson.
Oh, yeah, that dude.
Yeah, the big guy, buff guy.
Yeah, he would be badass. He would be more like
way too jacked.
What's that?
You know, he played Aquaman in Smallville.
Yeah,
and
he also played. He played in Teen Titans as
Hawk.
Hawk. Yeah. I think he would be great. I do. So, anyways, that's what I got. Joe, do you have anybody else other than Robert Pattinson?
I'm not a fan of that one, Jeff. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't.
He would be absolute Batman, by the way.
Yeah, obviously
he could be. You're right. Actually, he's
brick shit house.
Yeah.
I mean, his body, but his acting skills. I don't think he could pull off Bruce Wayne. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, you can't just be Batman. You got to be able to pull off Bruce Wayne.
I understand that, but I think he's got the acting chops. Josh, you haven't mentioned who you want.
Ah, man, this might be a bit of controversy because he would have to get jacked up, but the guy who just played in Twisters.
No way.
Powell? What's his name? No. He's a good actor, man. Let me tell you something. He played as a hitman. He played as a hitman on a Netflix show, and he's like different personalities. I think he could pull it off. What's his name now? Luke something.
Powell. His last name is Powell. He was in. Glenn
Powers, and he was in the Dark Knight. He was in the Dark Knight Rises as well as a cameo. That's where he got his first big break.
Honestly, no. Sorry. This is.
Come on, man. You know.
All right, Joe. You're gonna have to end this question. I think we have 2 more questions. One more question left.
One more question. No, 2 more. 2 more questions.
2 more questions. Okay.
Yeah, let's do this one first.
What is the flight velocity of an unladen swallow?
So not only you know this, but I'm a huge bird enthusiast. It's actually 10 meters per second, which is equivalent to about 20.1 miles per hour.
That's actually common knowledge.
Common knowledge.
Honestly, try and get us with another question. But let's move to this one right here. This is news to me, by the way, guys. Ask Joe, Jeff, Josh, with the announcement that Dollar Tree is going to be selling comics, am I too optimistic in thinking that maybe this will entice kids to want to pick up comics?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely their aim here, is to have a cheap entry place to get into it. Like, they've tried doing it with those comic packs at Walmart and stuff like that. I think that this kind of gives a better option for that, just because it's cheaper. And it is, you know, stuff gets swallowed up in Walmart. Walmart's like a big store Whereas dollar stores, you see more of the store, more percentage wise, because they're smaller buildings. So yeah, I don't. They got to figure out something, because comics are not selling to kids nearly as much as they need to be. And as a former educator, someone who taught kids how to read, I taught first grade and I taught third grade. There are plenty of kids out there who do not want to read books, whether it's a picture book or an early chapter book or whatever, but will dive right into a comic book. And I always had comics in my classroom for that reason, for both of those age groups. And I also had kids creating their own comics every year. That was always a project that I did. We you have writing assignments and things like that. And one of the writing assignments, the final version, had to be in comic book form, where it was, the characters are shown physically, and I didn't grade them based upon the writing or really even the artwork or anything like that, but it was just being able to put that together and make cohesive sense. Kids can learn a lot from comic books, so I think that's really important, just to have a different avenue for kids to catch on with reading.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get, my daughter and my stepdaughter to start reading more of them, for sure. My stepdaughter's really into Miles. I've mentioned that a few times, and she is really gravitating towards those stories. She's picking up a cover she likes and just wanting to read. I'll get her whatever she wants. I get both of them whatever they want. So I just had to look this up. So it looks like DC Comics at Dollar Tree for $1.25.
Yep.
They're starting off with these titles. I'll try and post. There's over 30. I don't know if this is going to look messy probably, but these are the
there were 34 titles. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to read, but give it a try.
It's interesting to notice about these. These are all issue number ones as well, and that's the goal. So I've been seeing this the last few days pop up, because a lot of collectors are talking about, hey, let's go out and buy these and resell them on eBay for a couple $100, because there might be limited editions and this and that. But not worrying about that. But so the goal, from what I understand, is these are all issue one. So say, kid goes in a dollar store or buy an issue number one. Well, hey, guess what? Now they want to go to the comic book shop and start reading the whole run. And I think it's a great idea, right? Because, let's be real, comic sales have really gone down in the last couple of years. And I do think, and I hope Marvel does this too, I think it's a good way. And if you look at the list too of the series, it's not just recent. You have some Copper and Browning stuff, I think, right? If you read some of the stuff, it's not just all new stuff. It's stuff that came out almost, 10 years ago? Maybe, give or take. Some of it. So it's great.
There's a lot. I mean, Green Lantern War just came out. Green Lantern War Journal, I'm sorry.
But if you have the new 52
5 years ago, right?
Yeah. So, and then New 52 came out a couple years before that. So, I mean, but this is a great idea. And like I said, if Marvel does it too, you get more readers in. People will want to actually read those books. The kids will be interested in it. And, it'd be nice to have some younger blood pop up into comics, and not just the collecting, but the reading aspect. And, I think it's a cool idea.
And community aspect, community creating. This is what it's all about. We're here talking about comics every Sunday night for 4 or 5 years. So, absolutely. So thanks for bringing that.
Paul brings up a good comment too.
What's that?
Paul brought up a good comment too.
You're going to see them on eBay, sadly. Not if they're overproduced, you know what I mean? But anyways.
Yeah, these are. I don't think that'll be a problem, because these are intentionally similar to Free Comic Book Day books. They're not. First of all, some of these books, if you actually have the original book, are like $10, $15, $20 keys, as it is. But these are not. These are reprints. But there's been talks in some of the groups I've been seeing about, hey, you got to add this to the collection. It might be a limited edition one day, but that's not going to be the case. I'm sure they've made quite a bit of inventory. They're not going to go out of stock.
$15,000 Tree stores, and they're going to be sending, how many copies of each of these? So, yeah.
True.
But anyways, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I was not aware of that. That is really I think it's a great idea. I think it's a no-brainer for sure. But thank you all again for listening to this wonderful segment that we do and asking questions called
Ask Joe and Jeff.
And Jeff.
Me. Okay. 2 more seconds left, everybody. 2 more segments. We do this new one every week. This is the third one.
Hold on a second, Jeff.
Yeah.
Gosh, we brought you back in for one question, and you're still here.
I know, man. He wouldn't leave. Look, I can't remove him.
Good thing I can.
He's been kicked off. All right. So, Joe, this one has become a smashing hit right here. This one that we do called Did You Know? And I don't know if you know this, but did you know, Joe, that
Yes.
Spider-Man was only originally supposed to appear for just one issue?
I did. This is actually a great story. It kind of goes to show that, like, no matter how successful you are in whatever field you're in, you always want to get like a second opinion on things, because you might make a mistake and pass something up. And Spider-Man was almost passed up. So play this clip, and I might actually have some more to add to it as well.
Let's do it.
Did you know that Spider-Man was planned as a one-and-done character? You'd think a character as iconic as Spider-Man would have always been destined for greatness. Wrong! The first appearance of Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy number 15 was supposed to be the end of the line. It was only due to the character's unexpected popularity that he got his own ongoing title. We almost had a world without Spider-Man. Can you imagine? Who would teenagers look to as their multitasking role model? We would have missed out on the Spider-Mobile, the iconic vehicle that inspired real-world automotive innovation. And how would we have lived without the wedding of the century, Aunt May, and Doc Ock? So, the next time you're reading a Spider-Man comic or watching a Spider-Man movie, take a moment to appreciate how close we came to never knowing this web-slinging wonder. He truly is amazing.
There we go.
My favorite part of that story is that Stan Lee apparently presented the idea. The idea was shot down. They decided they were canceling Amazing Fantasy, and his publisher, I think it was Martin Goodman, was like, all right, just print the spider, the bug. I call him like the bug guy or something like that.
Flyman, they wanted or something like that. Yeah.
No, but like Martin Goodman couldn't remember his name. He was just like the bug guy. Put the bug guy in that book. And Stan Lee wrote the book, and apparently that one sold phenomenally, which makes sense because Jack the King Kirby did one of the most iconic covers of all time, and it's a beautiful origin story of Spider-Man. That book sold incredibly, and then, as we know, Martin Goodman was like, I think it was Martin Goodman, was like, all right, your bug guy, we got to make his own book. And they started Amazing Spider-Man #1. I think it was only like 2 or 3 months later.
That's crazy, especially for those days, to get that kind of reception that quickly without social media, things like that, like amazing. So
yeah,
for sure. All right, well, here we are. The final segment of the show is also one of the most popular segments of the show. And Joe, I think we're going to retire this after this year, the thing that we do, because I can't remember the name of the segment that we do. What's it called?
So this segment, it's near and dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. As we know, every week we come here and we get to show your books off, show the books from the community off, things that you picked up recently, things that are what we call fresh from the comic shop.
Fly from the pressing salon. That's right. We ask you, the fine viewers, the audience members, to send in your fresh gets, and you never disappoint. That's right. You send them in, and if it wasn't reward enough to be sharing your fresh gets with the community, you could also win a monthly prize just by submitting your entry, or just by submitting your fresh gets. You are entering into this this prize that we do. It's fresh from the comic shop, and our proud partners, EGS and Spider Dude Comics, they provide us with the wonderful slab, the beautiful EGS slab and book. So we are closing out the month of November. We do have a winner to announce, Joseph. We do have a winner to announce. And somebody right here is going to win this fantastic book This Ryan Stegman variant of Extreme Venomverse #1 with the beautiful customized label. It was Slick Jolly versus Union Josh Comics. And we are here to say, Slick Jolly, you are the winner for November. Not only did you win this beautiful Venom book, but you are also entered in to win the yearly Big Boy book or girl. We haven't figured out what that is just yet, but we have one more month. So that means y'all better get your entries in for December, because we have one more month to get you into that final yearly prize, which is the 2024 book of the year. But this December book right here, Fantastic Four #1 from 2018. I didn't have time to see who this variant is or who drew this variant, but look at the gorgeous custom labels here from EGS, as well as the book. This is obviously a virgin variant right there. There is no logo on there. But it is wonderful. You know, I'm going to go over this one more time real quick. Kaiser Jose, here's the deal. This is how you enter right here. It's this easy. What you do is you post your picture up into Instagram, right? You tag us in the picture, Comic Book Canon. Tag us in the picture. Do not tag us in the description, right? You use hashtag FFTCS, right? Hashtags don't do much for us anymore, so make sure you tag us in the picture. I cannot emphasize that enough. You send one picture in, you're definitely getting up. We submit every picture. All right, we show we only do one. A lot of people do multiple pictures, but we only do one. So the three things that we look for you to move on to the semifinals, as you're going against your fellow peers, three things that we look for. The first,
hold on, you've done enough talking. I want to talk about the three things. Okay, three things. A well-composed shot. First of all, we want it to look aesthetically pleasing. We want, a well-taken picture, some cool lighting, maybe cool perspective. Jeff, are you still there?
Can I talk or no?
No. Get back off the screen. Thanks. Cool. A well-composed shot, lighting, angle, all that stuff. Don't just, throw your comic on your dirty bed sheets and take a picture. That's not the most pleasing thing to the eye. Second, we want to see something that is, Jeff, seriously, dude. Hold on one second. All right, that's better. We want to see something unique, something that maybe we haven't seen before. Anyone can post their, Spawn #1. Everyone's got that book. There's millions of copies, but a Spawn #1 newsstand, or a Spawn #1 signed by Todd McFarlane, or a Spawn #1 error printing or something like that. There are plenty of ways to find unique books to show us, and the more unique, the better. And unique doesn't have to be $30,000, not at all. It could be something cheap from the dollar bin, just something we haven't seen before. Maybe an indie book, maybe a Kickstarter book, maybe something from the golden age that's been forgotten to time. Third, Jeff, I'm going to have to talk with HR about his behavior. Third thing we want to see is what that book means to you. Tell us the story of that book, whether it's how you got that book or how that book relates to something else in your life, your childhood, your friends and family, whatever it may. Jeff. Okay, you can stay. Tug on our heartstrings. That's the best way to put it. And hashtag FFTCS, post it on Instagram. And we will definitely show it off during the show. And you might even win for the week, or win for the month, which gets you a slab, or win for the year, which gets you another slab. And a reminder to the people who haven't been submitting, because you've already won maybe this year already and you're not eligible for a second win. Come January, everything resets.
A
chance to do it again.
And by the way, a little bit about EGS. You get optional custom labels, free graders notes, fast turnaround times, also proprietary case, which is my favorite case from all of the grading companies, and 5% off your EGS order using the code CANON5. EGS Comics, grading.com. Also, Spider Dude Comics. The information is down below. Everybody subscribe, and follow them. Why don't you subscribe, and follow us as well tonight, because we have been entertaining you guys, and it doesn't cost you any extra to subscribe and get all of the information you need about us. So we're going to get right into it right now with our first off, I do want to talk about, again, this reminds us who's won, who's not eligible, but they still enter. We got Mike Hags for January. We got Dr. Plagueis in February. We got Mons Comics in March. We got April is Nukes Comics, May is Kaboom Comics, and June is Crispy Comics, featuring a cover that was beautifully drawn by Kaboom. July is Nori Jordan, Joshua's Nemesis. August, we have Raising Elm Comics. I mean, kills it. September is C to the G. October is Goonish Lurker. And we have Slick Jolly for November. We'll have a slide for that right there. But why don't we just start off with...
Wait, hold up.
Yes,
Before
please.
we start off, we got to wave and say, hi, Brixton.
Hey, Brixton.
You got the wave. Thank you. Jeez.
Did Paul say... Oh, there he is. We'll even put Brix's name up. Hey, Brixton.
Woo!
All right, we're going to get into it right now, Brixton. Right now, we're going to get into it. It's your dad's favorite segment. Mike Hags is not eligible, but that's the first one that was sent in. Another dollar pickup. Found this in my boy's collection that he brought to work for me to pick through. I've been working on Iron Man 100 to 300. When I could get issues for $1, I was definitely hyped to find some Bronze and Copper Age bangers, including the first appearance of Ghost. I'm interested to see her again in Thunderbolts, as is Nori Jordan, by the way. Oh, that was it. By the way, it's also a newsstand, too. So that's a mid-'80s book, newsstand. I'm not sure what the condition looks there, but it's cool because Mike Hags is getting closer to his goal of 100 to 300. By the way, I'm going to bring Joshua in. Joshua, you are deciding on the semifinalists, just letting you know.
Ooh, pay attention,
Pay
Josh.
attention.
Cool.
Pay
Wow.
attention. We haven't done that in a while. Okay, anyways. Next up, we got Comic Toby makes a triumphant return to the canon. When was the last time you've seen original art by Eric Larson? I ask because this is it. You're looking at all new Venom #1, the Eric Larson variant. I added a picture of my favorite baseball card, Spider-Man 1992 by Eric Larson. I love the kind of abstract technique he used in taking that picture for sure. Joseph, your first fresh get of the week. What do you have? By the way, Joe, I have 3 fresh gets this week.
Nice, me too. First fresh get of the week. Shout out to Paul Bond. I feel like I've been saying this so much recently. He just has so much good stuff that I want because he's he's really specializes in Golden Age, and that's kind of the main thing that I collect. So I picked this up from Paul. This was a upgrade to my personal collection. I had a low grade copy. I actually ended up selling my low grade copy this week as well, so it worked out really nicely. This is Shock Suspense Stories number 12. It has this classic drug cover. We got the hypodermic needle over here. Yeah. This guy in the throes of drug addiction. This was something that is obviously very pre-code. This would not have been allowed post-code. Shock Suspense Stories 12. Solid grade, 3.5. It's complete. It's all attached and everything like that. And yeah, that's, like I said, an upgrade. The one that I had was really low grade. Probably, I think I sold it at like a 1.8 to 2.0. So it had like some issues with the spine. This one, a lot nicer looking.
Dude, that is a great looking book. Really cool. Obviously, that is pre-code for sure. By the way, Caleb is calling it out. 3 Energon books. What do you think, Joe?
Probably.
Moving on to Kaboom Comics is not eligible. Sorry, it's been crazy at work, but I haven't forgotten about you, comic book fam. Just a copy of Wolverine #1. Looks like he's going to take a trip to get pressed and cleaned. Head up to CGC a few years ago. I let go of 3 copies I had, and now he's back. My Wolverine wall. You won with the Wolverine wall too, actually. I see a Deadpool head, dead, whatever that one's called, deadhead. Anyways, all right, my first fresh get of the week. Where should I start? Let's start with this one, right? Oh no, we're gonna start with this, Joe. If you're okay with it, okay?
I'm okay with it.
Joe, you're gonna appreciate this actually, because I just got in the mail Sanity Rise of the Occult #2. Our good friend Swagger House.
Look at that.
Mickey Finn. Oh, wait, #3.
Oh,
I'm very excited to read these actually. The art is incredible as well as the writing. And I think I haven't opened it up yet, but I think I have an original sketch as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't it? So, guys, I highly recommend if. Oh, Mickey signed these too. I just noticed that. I'm gonna ask him to send me the digital copy because I don't want to open these. That's awesome. I just noticed he signed this as well in gold pen.
Love it.
Congratulations, Mickey, aka Swags. You are a pillar in the community, and we love you so much. And issue 1 was really good. I'm excited to read issue 2 and 3. We had him on a few months ago. He was talking about his project.
Yeah, we
anyway,
had him on. Yeah,
yeah.
recently.
He's great. He is absolutely great. Y'all should be following him as well. All right, moving on. We got Dr. Plagueis not eligible. The only person we have eligible so far is Comic Toby. But Dr. Plagueis has a great guys. Pay attention, because this is how you do it. This pulls at the heartstrings right here. What to say? 1 week ago, I was watching my friend Paper Chase Comics unbox a recent collection he picked up, where at the very end he revealed that in it was a Hulk 181. And as I'm watching and admiring and thinking, what a great looking book that is, I'm also thinking to myself, I will never own that. But seeing someone I admire own it and score big with his consistency and persistence brought me some contentment. Like him and other friends of mine, I take pride in my persistence and consistency. Always being on the hunt, which also consists of refreshing marketplace more than I'd like to admit. So fast forward a few days to 4:30 a.m. on a Thursday morning. There it is. Hulk 181, asking price is $1,000. A buyer who knows what he has, but motivated to sell. So I'm all over it. I make him an offer on the 181 and 180, and the rest is history. I now possess a Hulk 181 and 180. Now I know Fresh from the Comic Shop is not about value. It's about the story. It's about the sentiment. It's about pulling at the heartstrings. I love the hunt. I love the feeling of books I've never touched before. I love the smell of books from a basement from the opposite end of the country from me. The thrill of what the next book flipped or the next refresh may bring brings me more joy, the most joy and fulfillment. You should never doubt your ability to achieve something, because if you're persistent, you just never know. That is so well done, man. Dr. Plagueis, you honestly love the content you put out there. Love how you are consistent and persistent in the community as well. And love that you share this, because that right there sums up what one of the aspects we love about comics. I love it.
Yeah, that was awesome post. Classic book. Obviously can't really beat a Hulk 181. As far as a Bronze Age find, that's the book you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So Joe, what is the book that you wanted and got as your second fresh get of the week?
Yeah, but before we go into this, A Plus Comics just mentioned this in the chat. I didn't know Jennifer, who went by the handle on Instagram, Comics Will Break Your Heart. I've seen posts about her over the last year. I know she was someone who's very involved with the community. Again, I didn't know her personally, but I would see a lot of people that I know, a lot of mutual friends posting about her and her battle with cancer. She did pass away this past week, unfortunately. And my condolences go out to everyone that did know her and watch her content and things like that. That's not a fun thing to deal with. In fact, I was just at a funeral for someone who passed away of cancer just yesterday. Terrible thing. And, my condolences and thoughts go out to everyone who did know Jennifer.
There were a lot, because a lot of people are posting about her as well. I didn't know her, but had heard of her, and it's again, unfortunate. It's so young. And part of this community too. So condolences to her family and friends. All right, Joe.
Yep.
Why don't we just all right, you show off your next get.
Yeah, so these they didn't get these from Paul, aka Brixco Comics, but he was the one that kind of initially pointed these out to me. I had seen a local shop post about it, but apparently they were on hold for someone. Turns out that person was Paul that they were on hold for, and Paul wasn't going to be able to make it down. A store that's closer to me. He ended up passing them on to me, which was awesome. These are you get a little 2-for-1 here. 2 LB Cole comics from the Golden Age. This is Ghostly Weird Stories, number 123. It's the second to last issue of the run. And it is that classic LB Cole style right there, with the really dark darks and the really bright lights, and just looks phenomenal. And then this one, which I like even more,
Oh, God.
Startling Terror Tales number 5. I think this is the second issue of the run because it didn't start with issue number 1. But look at this freaking cover right here.
Dude, that is so your jam. Both of those
Yeah.
are right up your alley.
Yeah, and I got them in the Mylar with the clear backs right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with these because I really do like LB Cole, but I've been trying to pare down my collection a little bit. I'm not trying to get every single LB Cole cover. I do keep a couple, so it's going to be a tough decision. Do I sell these? Do I keep these? If I do sell them, do I get them graded first? Do I sell them raw? I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out. But after the next book I'm going to show you, it might be a have to sell because of this book that I just picked up.
You've hyped this book. I cannot wait to see what it is. We got again another one that is not eligible is Nori Jordan. Nori Jordan. This is a great story, by the way. This week, so Josh, aka Josh's Comics, doesn't suffer from Thunderbolts overload. I will mix it up based on the recommendations of many people. I have wanted to read the Thor God of Thunder series, but some of the books are a bit pricey. My wife and I were at the mall, Christmas shopping, and I noticed a store that sold mostly toys and records. I wandered to the back of the store and saw about 8 long boxes. In the first box I looked at, I found a Newman copy of the entire God of Thunder series. I also found a Thor #1, the first Jane Foster's Thor, some Punisher Max books with Bullseye and Elektra appearances, and other fun books. The best part was I only paid about $2.50 per book. I couldn't take a good picture of all the books, but I will highlight God of Thunder #2 and #6. I can't wait to read the series and see how crazy Gore the God Butcher really is. Take care, everyone. Yo, that is, I mean, we all have those stories. Those are all great. I'm glad that Nori is actually branching out to other things for sure. But that's a great find. Congratulations, Nori. Jordan. All right, my second fresh get of the week. Love my LCS, and sometimes I just like looking for cool Silver Age Green Lantern books. This is number 38. I don't know, just a cool cover. That's why I got it. I got it for $5 too. I love my Green Lantern. Love.
$5 for that for a Silver Age book?
Yeah.
And I think that's a minor key too.
Yeah, it's the first appearance of. I don't think it's the Atomic Changeling, but it could be. I mean,
what issue number? What issue number is it?
Number 38.
We're gonna do a quick internet search.
Okay, that's what 38. It's there for. While you do that,
wait, I'm
done.
While
you do that,
first appearance of Goldface.
Goldface. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, cool cover. All right. While we do that, or actually, you just did that. By the way, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We have, who do we have next? We have, Josh's Comics, who also is not eligible. Here we go. Justice League of America, number 31. Hawkman joins the Justice League of America. What can I say? I love my DC keys, especially first appearance or characters joining teams. The Justice League is one of the most known and loved teams in all of comics. Currently working on my Justice League run. I had to have this great issue where Hawkman joins the JLA. While Hawkgirl is confirmed for the DCU, I hope we get Hawkman as well. Enjoy this beautiful Silver Age. I'll tell you what, that Black Adam movie was not great, but Hawkman was awesome. He was all, I can't remember the actor who played him. He was awesome. I'm excited for Hawkgirl too. We'll see. But yeah. Thanks, TV. Why are you going to a commercial now?
Am I blurry? Do I look blurry to you?
You are blurry, but it's okay. Joshua, this is it. This is the time. So you better not be blurry anymore because you're about to show off the big boy book you got.
Oh, I am. Yeah,
it's time.
So, like I said, this is my biggest pickup of the year. This was a right time, right place. I had a friend who came to me. Shout out Sam. Give him a follow. What's it? Stampede 21589 on Instagram. Amazing collection he has. He hit me up and said, I got some moves I'm looking to make. I need to sell a book. And I said, okay, all right, I'm here for it. This book is a book that I've always wanted in my personal collection. is a book that I never thought I would have in my personal collection. This is a book that I can never see myself letting go. I'd sell my 9-2 giant size X-Men 1 before I sold this book. I'd probably get rid of my Crow 1 before this book. Maybe. That's questionable.
I feel like we need some like hype up music like for this shit. Like honestly.
It is the most quintessential, the most important, also the most valuable, and one of the hardest to find Batman books of the 1950s.
Can I do something here? Because we could play music tracks here. And
if you want to.
Let's just get some dance pop to hype it up. There it is.
Is this copyright safe? Are we good?
Yeah, it's in the StreamYard channel. There we go. Hype it up. Give us your DJ voice too. And here it is.
What does the DJ voice sound like?
Your voice.
Oh, my DJ voice?
Yes.
I don't know what do DJs sound like. They're like, all right, let's do it.
Give us the damn book.
Did you like that? All right, let's just show the book. All right, here we go.
Oh, snap!
Detective Comics 168. The first appearance of the Joker as the Red Hood, the first and most important Joker origin story. 2.5. Wow. Complete, low grade, absolutely amazing book. Love this cover. Written by Bill Finger, creator of Batman, telling the story of the Joker, how he became the Joker, the story that's still referenced today. It is the best Batman book of the 1950s. Well
done. Yeah, wow. Dr. Plagueis just had a major nerdgasm. Everybody else is giving you props. What a freaking book, man. Definitely happy for you. Absolutely. Well said. That is a great, no doubt about that. That is your best book that you've gotten all year for sure.
Yep.
I don't want to underscore that as well. We should have done that last. We still have 2 more books we have to get through. Anyways, and we're going to do it. By the way, this music sucks. We're never doing this again. Because I do want to cut that down into a social right there because that's freaking awesome. I hope that music doesn't ruin it. I'll pull it up again, please. Ouch. Oh, that's so good, dude. So good.
It's a nice 2.5 too. The cover's detached, and that's the reason it's that low. You know, I think if the cover were attached and it looked like this, it'd probably be like a 3.0 or 3.5. But it's what we want.
By the way, A+ Comics was expecting more from you.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry to disappoint, buddy. Sorry.
I'm not a millionaire.
You know who does not disappoint, though? I'll tell you who. Raising Elm Comics, who is not eligible, by the way. Not eligible, but here we go. Howdy, comic fam. Keep it brief, but I found some awesome pickups at Buy One, Get One. BOGO. Buy one, get one. I guess get one free. My local comic shop was having on Black Friday. The 3 on the left were free, and the ones on the right weren't. Heck of a pickup for $30. Yes, absolutely. I got to fill in more of Eli's Star Wars run, get another copy of one of my favorite Daredevil Punisher covers. Definitely a great cover. Get my first issue of a Man-Thing title, and you can't go wrong with an Indiana Jones comic or a Secret Wars comic. Hope you all are doing well. Much love, comic fam. Again, nice presentation, even though this isn't a typical Raising Elm presentation as well. All right, I'm going to give my third fresh get of the week. It's going to probably come, Joe, it's probably going to come very close to yours.
It probably is better.
Probably. So I'm going to tell you, I made it all the way through fresh from the comic shop without any Energon. Okay. But I am showing off this. I got this for like $2. Y'all know I love John Byrne. And this is the first Thing series. So this is Thing number 1. John Byrne. It's a newsstand. I guess it's in the early 80s.
Yeah.
So, it's not, the interiors are not drawn by John Byrne, but John Byrne does write this series. So, and he does I think all of the covers actually. So, I was happy to get this. And again, Joe, you know what I mean?
Smells delicious.
I mean, I don't know if you would describe that as delicious, but look how cool. Oh, blue eyes. Anyways, I was happy to get this. I'm going to read this on my digital app, though. All right, our final submission here is eligible, I do have to say. So we have two people that are eligible that Joshua's going to have to figure out. And this one right here is from Comic Demon, who doesn't really elaborate much. That kind of holds him back. Super fun cover from David Nakayama. Had hard to pick just one from the many Thundercats covers. So yeah, that's what we have. So we're gonna bring Joshua in. Joshua, I hope you've been paying attention.
Kind of. I mean, I've been looking at Batman statues. Then I made a big mess on my screen when Joe brought up his Red Hood.
Too much information. Why do we pay this guy again?
We're contractually obliged to.
And I have to bring him back. Let's just keep that information to yourself, okay? Again, another HR infraction. We're gonna have to, yeah. Millions of people heard that too, so it's not like you can get out of it. Okay, so Joshua, you have two that are eligible. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Huh?
I said, yeah, we do.
We do. It's Comic Toby with the abstract art and Comic Demon with not much going on there in terms of a story or anything. So, where do we go with this? Who is going to be the first semifinalist of December?
Well, first, thank you for the submissions. We appreciate it as always. In my opinion here, I got to go with Comic Toby. Just because I like the presentation a little bit better, and I think it's more of a unique piece. So that's my pick for tonight's winner. But do you two gentlemen have a winner? Or have
We're
a
not-
idea of
we
who
can't-
you like to-
We don't vote on this unless it's just the two of us. And here you are. You're the one. So is that your final? Comic Toby is moving on to the semifinals. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
That's my final answer.
Congratulations, Comic Toby. 15 million people watching this right now know that you are moving on to the semifinals. You'll battle against next week's semifinalists as well. What a show, people. What a show. What smooth, well orchestrated, entertaining. We learned a lot today. Again, very grateful for you all. Looking forward to closing out this year strong with the canon and starting things off in 2025 big, continuing to grow. I love you guys. That's it. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. Great show. Always great to hang out. Josh been killing it with the news, and some of Josh's early predictions that he had in the rumor mill, some of those have come true at this point. Not just the big one, the Dr. Doom one that we all denied. And
Joe, we said that.
That was us. We actually were doing that. Right.
Go back.
What? Sorry, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, great show. This year's kind of winding down at this point. I have no more conventions that I plan on attending as a buyer or a seller. Kind of just going towards the holidays and ready to start fresh in 2025. Josh, we'll bring you back on.
Yeah, great show tonight. Great to see some new faces in here tonight too. I hope you guys stay around, and I hope you enjoyed your first show tonight.
They definitely.
And yeah, for sure. I mean, plus having me here, come on.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody again for attending. Hit the like button, please subscribe, and I love bringing the news and rumors to you guys every week. It's always interesting, and I love seeing everybody's reactions and thoughts, or what they feel about certain casting or rumor announcements and everything. And hey, a couple more weeks, we'll be in 2025. December is pretty much going by super fast for me, anyway. And same thing with Joe. I won't be attending anything. I don't think I have anything coming up anyway. So maybe go over, take a look at Jeff's storage unit, see if he's got any good books for sale. But yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
well, I
2025.
mean, his mom's basement, actually. My bad.
I'm still putting
Look,
it together.
Jeff,
Nobody's
move out of
really
the way.
noticed, but
Show,
it's
move,
coming
Jeff,
together. It's
out
still a
the
little
way.
bit
There you
messy.
go.
It's getting there. So I'll show it off maybe at some point. All right, everybody. We'll be back again next week, next Sunday, as we are every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Until then, be good to yourselves and be good to others.